There we go.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Just for your edification, Kelly, Patrick is going to play the part of Vivian. So
Yes.
even though he's not in this, he will be.
Yep, I'm a female, and I'm Vivian, and I just gotten back from deployment, and come to see a pastor of a new church that I just began going to.
Okay. Well, good morning, Vivian. I'm so glad that you stopped by to see me. I've noticed you have attended church a couple times and was hoping to get a chance to speak with you.
Thanks for having me. I've been coming to your church a couple times, and I really like it.
Excellent. I'm so glad that that I hope that you continue to find a home here with us. We're very glad that you're attending.
Yeah, I particularly liked your sermon the other day. You talked about suffering, and I felt like it just felt like I could relate it to my life.
Really? Can you tell me more about that?
Well, I think I told you the first time we met that I just came back from overseas.
Yeah.
I was deployed there, and I'm done. I don't have to go back, but it's been really hard coming back.
What are some of the things that have been the hardest for you coming back?
Well, I've had a whole psychiatric review and everything, and they've diagnosed me with PTSD.
Okay.
And but to be honest, I don't really feel comfortable with a psychiatrist and their care. They're military docs.
Okay. Is this a psychiatrist that you chose, or were you assigned?
No, I don't really have a choice. Yeah.
Do you know? Are there other options that you have?
Well, not outside the military unless I want to pay out of pocket.
I see.
Yeah.
And I bet that can be pretty expensive.
Yeah, I can't afford that. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to come and see you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
Well, you said that you're not real comfortable with a psychiatrist. Is there anything in particular that just doesn't fit for you?
Well, I had a really bad experience in country, and being a female, there was a lot of sexual harassment, and I get the same vibe from the psychiatrist that I did from my COs over there. When I told my CO,
and this was coming from your CO.
This is coming from my CO. Yep.
How did that, when he said that?
Well, he's totally full of shit because I've never given anybody a blowjob over there. I'm married.
And you have kids too, right?
And I have children, and so it's really hard to trust that whole system.
Yeah. And you feel like the psychiatrist is exhibiting some of these same attitudes and behaviors.
Yeah, I think he's kind of an asshole, to be honest. I hope I can say that in front of you.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. He's sort of from the old school, I do. I feel like if I let him, he would probably harass me too. I was, yeah. There were several times when I had to fight for myself overseas, and I wasn't raped, but it came close.
It was very scary for you. It sounds like.
Yeah.
It very much was.
Yeah, just because I'm in the having a few drinks with after a long day, the guys try to take advantage of that.
Yeah. When you were experiencing this overseas, in country, what are some of the things that you did to help you get through that moment, to give you some strength? So it had to be just a terrifying experience.
Well, I'd usually go back to my barracks, and I would look at pictures of my kids, and I would at different times. I'm Catholic, so I would say I would say the Our Father or the Rosary, and that seemed to give me comfort.
Were you able to talk with the Catholic chaplain in country, or was there a Catholic chaplain?
There was. But I didn't trust him.
Okay. It sounds to me like you felt a little overwhelmed by the sort of wall, the old boys network that was over there that you were encountering?
Overwhelmed is good. I mean, I still wake up. I have these nightmares, but I think it's part of my PTSD, and I still wake up and my bed is soaked, and I'm usually having dreams about dying, and in most of these dreams, I get shot and I die, and I've never had a dream where I died before, and I wake up and I'm just panicked.
I can't even imagine how terrifying that is. How terrifying. Did you ever have those dreams when you were in country, or is this something new since you came back?
No, just started when I got back. Yeah.
Is there anything that you experienced besides the coming home that might have sort of set these dreams off?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to talk about it, but there was one moment when we were on tour, and I was riding on top of the Humvee, and we had a child approach, and there was a lot of yelling. There was a mother. I can remember her clearly. There was a mother standing in a doorway yelling for the kid to stop, and the kid was running towards us, and my CO was yelling at me, and then he said he has a wire, and it was my job to either protect my company.
I can imagine that you can still see that child face. How old was that child in comparison to your own kids?
My kids are a little bit older.
Are they? So a little bit younger.
Yeah. This kid was probably about 7, and mine are 10 and
Just
12.
a tiny little one.
Yeah. And they often do that over there. They often send kids in.
I've heard that's true, but that doesn't make it any easier for you, does it?
I don't know what to do. I took those kids out.
What would have been the alternatives if you hadn't?
Well, it could have been my life or my company's life. There were 3 of us, and you know, not only did I need to take care of my company, but also, you know, as a woman, I didn't want to look weak.
True. Yeah. Sounds like you felt like you were carrying an extra burden.
Yes
the male
and no.
soldiers,
Yes and no.
don't carry.
But I mean, I think any soldier in that situation would have had to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
it happened to be you.
It happened to be me.
It's 11:45.
How is it then for you to come home and to be with your kids?
It's a bit hard, Carol, because my kids have been gone for so long, and now they're doing different stuff. Just the other day, one of my kids said, I was packing his lunch and putting his favorite yogurt in there, and he looked at me and said, "I don't eat yogurt anymore."
How long were you over in country?
2 years.
That's a long time in the life of a kid, and for a 10-year-old,
22 months.
that's 20% of their life.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And I can tell they're hurt that I was gone.
Yeah.
I get that.
You have a lot of burdens that you're shouldering right now, don't you?
It feels that way.
Truly do.
It feels that way.
I just have this image of your shoulders just being weighed down by so many things about just.
It's almost harder being home.
Yeah. Why is that, do you think?
Because you get, I don't know, I can't seem to find my place here. My kids don't really know me. I have this PTSD. I'm having a hard time finding a job, and I wake up every morning and wonder. The other day I was in the grocery store getting food, and there was some construction going on, and there was this like nail gun or this loud bang, and I almost
pop, pop, pop.
yeah, and I dropped to the floor. And then I was afraid people would see me, and so I pretended like I was looking for something on the bottom shelf.
Yeah. But I can see how you would just react without thinking.
Yeah,
Just without thinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's part of why I feel so out of sorts, because people around here look at you kind of like you're a freak.
Okay. When you think they're looking at you as a freak, when you feel like they are, is there anything that they say, or is it just the feeling that you get, the gut feeling you get from them when you're with other people?
You know, it is a gut feeling. I mean, I think people are glad that I served, and they're grateful for that. But at the same time, they don't know how to deal with, and I don't completely know how to deal with what happened over there.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of both sides.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that with your family? How's your husband having you back?
He's been supportive. He's been supportive. Yeah. And yet I think he's even said there's a part of me that he doesn't know what to do with as well. So
Well,
he's doing the best he can, I think.
But 2 years of your life, of his life,
Yeah.
there's been no connection, and
Yeah.
he can't understand that, so I can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. It's like we don't know how to connect again.
Yeah. Wow. You just are carrying a tremendous load, aren't you?
It feels that way.
What would you like to see happen?
Well, it's really helpful just to talk about these things.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. I really do need some more help in what to do when the trauma comes back up.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to do because I don't trust the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
He wants to put me on medication,
Okay.
and that's helpful. But you know, I've been addicted to stuff before, and I don't want to go back down that road.
Okay.
So I haven't been taking it.
Yeah. Oh, so he did prescribe something.
Yeah, he did, like something for anxiety.
Okay. But you feel that that's not enough.
I feel like it kind of masks it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
I want to get to the bottom of it. And just even talking about it with you is helpful.
Sounds like you would, instead of just getting through it, you want to get back to where you're in control somewhat of these reactions.
Yeah.
I
want to learn.
You can't change the feelings. But
No, I just want to learn what to do when it
I
happens.
can do it. Have you checked with any of the veterans programs?
No, that's a good point. I haven't.
There's a veterans office over here in town, and I know that they're working with a lot of Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, and
Do you know anybody over there?
Well, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that one of our congregants works over there. And because what I would like
Is it a man or woman?
Well, it's a man, but this is what I'm going to suggest, is that we might be able to talk with this person and see who he would recommend that would be the best for you, because he's not the only one that works there.
Would you go with me?
I would be very happy to. And so my question is, would you rather work with a man or a woman?
Woman.
I would imagine, but I wanted to ask you. It's important to hear that from you. And so let me give him a call this afternoon.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can't set up a time where the three of us, and I'll see if he can come here.
Okay.
But I will be with you.
All right.
And I'd like for him to hear from you what your needs are as well.
Okay.
And if he also has somebody good in mind, maybe he could bring that person along. I do know that they have both male and female people working there. And they also might have some connections with other veterans benefits that I don't know about.
Okay.
And that's important for you to get connected as far.
Okay.
My other concern, though, is what are you going to do this afternoon when you go home? What might be some ways that you can start working on the relationship with the kiddos and with your husband?
Well, I don't know yet, but you know, what I want to do is take some time and think about what we've discussed. I think that'll be helpful. And just knowing that I have a possible appointment with you will be helpful. I think I need to spend time with my kids. I think they feel a little bit, they're still a little bit hesitant because it's been difficult for them. So I need some activities we can do that are going to be maybe more helpful for them.
You said they're 10 and
12.
10 and 12.
Yeah.
Suggestion for you is when I have my sons are much older, but when I felt like we needed to do some talking, I would take them out on a date. And I would pick always a pretty reasonable priced restaurant. I liked places like Denny's or Perkins because they have the booths, and you can kind of get in there and be real quiet, but nobody's talking.
Yeah.
And we would